Welcome to the East End. I'm Erin Colton.
And I'm Joe Arena.
We've got lots to see this weekend.
And while you're exploring it all with us, don't forget to play along in our East End trivia game. You'll see questions pop up during the show. Scan that QR code and you might just win some East End swag. Well, farming is a staple on the East End, of course, but a former WNBA star is harvesting a different kind of crop, kelp.
We got a look inside her seaweed operation to see how it's also creating cleaner waters.
Growing up on my father's fishing boat, my great-grandfather's, that's so much part of our life.
The daughter of a bayman and oyster farmer on Long Island's East End, Sue Wicks has been living on the water since she was a little girl.
We used to go to Mount Sinai with my dad and just pick them wild. And that was such an adventure because you could do it when you were a little kid, 9 years old, pick whatever you can.
Sue is now the 17th generation of her family's profession with her company Cove Oysters in Mauritius.
I always thought about it no matter where I was, how much I love the water. To do this kind of felt like a dream come true.
But there's a new adventure creating new dreams for Sue today. She is now the first commercial kelp farmer in New York State.
The kelp is a miracle because you can use it as a fertilizer or biostimulant. It's a great source of nutritious protein. It is great for the soil. It's used in cosmetics. There's just so many uses to it.
If you recognize Sue, she isn't just a pioneer in the world of kelp. She's also a former WNBA star, a first-round pick for the New York Liberty's inaugural season.
I loved basketball. My game day in the 8th grade was just as important and epic to me as playing in the World Championship for the New York Liberty.
After retiring from the league, her second chapter in life led her back to her roots.
Even when I was away, I would always dream about it and coming back to it.
From professional basketball to now professional oyster and kelp farmer, Sue took me out on the water to check in on her crop.
If there's enough kelp on one line, we can eat it because it's baby kelp.
Let's go. How do you know when it's ready to be harvested or farmed?
I guess like any farmer, everything is visual. It's not like you're working in your office and on March 15th we harvest. It's always different. That's the beauty of this. Mother Nature is different every year. Every farmer knows this. All winter, we watch it, we monitor the growth, see how quickly it's growing, and then when it's ready, it'll be different sections. They don't all grow the same. Super excited about how good it looks. This is a lot of growth for this time of year.
All right, here I go. Let's go.
Yes. This is baby kelp. This is like the most delicious, ideal size for a salad or something.
There we go.
Should we taste it?
Yes. Just take a bite?
Yeah.
All right. It's so good.
I love it.
It's so good, actually. And if it's this good in its natural state,
it's the best.
Exactly.
It's the best.
Not only is kelp healthy to eat, Sue says it's also keeping the water clean, allowing more shellfish to thrive, including her oysters.
Greatest part of the kelp, it creates an ecosystem. It balances pH levels. One of the problems with the oysters growing, propagating, is coastal acidification, which is very intense here. So that'll balance the pH in the water. And in this world, we're overwhelmed all the time with what can I do? It's so big, there's nothing I can do. I can plant kelp. I get this kelp, put it in the water, watch it grow, watch it thrive, and then keep dreaming about the possibilities of balancing the health of that bay.
But when you look back now, knowing that you're taking on this charge of kelp farming, knowing you were part of that first draft, what is that like when you look back on and be like, wow, I did that?
If you have a long enough runway, you will get better. I think that's an athlete's mindset. This is your life. This is a thing that's bigger than your paycheck. This is an opportunity, and it's rare.
Well, that is hard work.
You can feel the cold out
Right?
here on the
Yeah.
beach. Today, out on the water, oh, it is hard work, and she does a great job. And again, she was like my idol growing up playing basketball.
What a day for you.
Yeah, it was great.
Good stuff.
All right, one North Fork woman is capturing the beauty of the East End through art, and her focus is fish.
Yeah, I got a lesson in Japanese fish printing with East End fish prints.
I just had an affinity for it, appreciation of it. I don't know, it spoke to my soul or some part of me.
Inspired at an early age by Eastern philosophies, East End artist Annie Sessler is now channeling these ideals through fish prints. This traditional Japanese art form involves pressing various materials like silk, cotton, or satin onto fish that are coated in ink, creating impressions. Each piece of Annie's work carries her distinctive symbol, and much like her prints, she says the symbol is a reminder of how many things are intertwined.
Sort of a derivative of the yin yang, fullness and the void, everything and nothing.
But back in the early 2000s, fish printing was something Annie knew nothing about until a conversation and then a demonstration from her husband at the time.
It was incredible, very nonchalant. He's a commercial fisherman still. You want to make fish prints? I had never heard of it. Brought home a bushel basket, did a demonstration. I was like blown away, blown away. I didn't know I married a Japanese master. You know, that effortless execution and then the brilliant result, no effort.
And Annie says moments after seeing it for herself, she ripped the brush out of her husband's hand and hasn't stopped since.
So you jumped right in.
Yeah. And I have an art, background and,
Right.
high school, college kind of thing, and I was just blown away.
Annie now runs East End Fish Prints herself. She says people will bring their fish to her, and oftentimes each specimen has a story and a special meaning to them. But Annie is also proficient with the reel and the rod and can catch you a fish if need be.
Whether some, I got this 50-pound bass, or we got something really weird, Eddie, we don't know what it is. And they usually give me license to, some people like that exact, as detailed as possible. Other people might want more impressionistic. It's either subconscious or superconscious or just accidental.
Hopefully that's me today. I'll just make some happy accidents.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
But with Annie by my side, I had the perfect instructor, something Annie gives the credit to her parents, Isa and Bruno Sessler.
My mother, super creative, philanthropist and everything like this, she's the one who donated fabrics. My dad, international businessman, one division, seafood.
Today, Annie has me preparing some satin and cotton for what will be our fluke fish print. This fluke was a gift from Gossman's Fish Market in Montauk. The first step in the process is to scrape what's left of the ocean off of the fish.
Yeah, look at all that goop. Ugh.
Then it's time to mix the ink with a little water to get the consistency you want.
Mix, mix, mix.
Next, you paint your fish.
Go any direction you want. Sometimes brush strokes will be shown or revealed, and you might want that.
Keep that same.
Or you don't, right. You can be like, have an abstract thing going
There are
on.
no rules here.
Satisfying. Like
It
one of
is
those,
satisfying.
one of those satisfying videos. It's like, oh, a stress reliever.
The feel of this. I mean, I know it was a living thing. Yeah, it's interesting.
Oh, we have to say thank you too to
Yes.
us for sacrifice.
For being here. Yes.
Yeah, thank you for feeding us, and thank you for allowing us to caress you with ink.
And then enjoy its bounty.
Yes. Tonight. Oh, I like that.
But perhaps even better than your favorite fish entree is the satisfaction from this process. Draping the fabric over the fish and letting your hands do the work.
Do anything you want. Take a moment. Let your gut direct you.
So this is quick. We're ready to see what I did here.
Are you ready?
Oh, I'm ready.
Are you ready for your surprise? We're just going to peel back gently
And
this
step
way.
over here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. I get to see it. Whoa, beautiful. Oh my gosh, I love it. This practice always gives. There's no doing it wrong. It's passage from life to death,
true.
right? And you want to give it the appearance of life.
And Annie says making that appearance come true in each of her creations is a product of her East End surroundings.
Grew up on the water and found I love the woods. Nature's been calling me since I was little.
So cool. It's almost like a fossil.
That's a great way to put it. It really comes out that way, yeah.
Pretty
It's
cool.
really cool.
All right, still ahead.
We're open 7 days a week. It never gets old.
Plan an East End Valentine's Day escape on Love Lane.
Welcome back. Every episode, we are taking you to a different East End town where you can plan a cozy winter getaway.
And if you're looking for a Valentine's Day getaway, Love Lane here in Mattituck is the perfect spot. Our first stop on this romantic getaway is the Village Cheese Shop, where you can get a taste of Europe without leaving Long Island. The Village Cheese Shop here on Love Lane has always been a place for the senses, even before cheese was on the menu.
The store has been here for 24 years. It was, before then, a florist.
And in 2015, when Michael Affatato took over the business,
It was kind of turnkey. Yeah, it was cheese and it was still serving fondue.
but Michael took that business plan to new heights, offering up 200 different varieties of cheese, depending on the time of year, and 95% European.
In Europe, as you know, fromagerie or cheesemongers are more common than they are here.
Michael is not only someone with a deep knowledge of all things cheese, his background is firsthand.
I lived in France for 17 years. I had cheese systematically at the end of every meal. 17 years, you do the math. It's a lot of cheese.
And during some of the days of the year, the Village Cheese Shop has wine nights that sell out fast, pairing select wines with foods matched from where they come from.
It's endless. There's really no limit to the amount of cheeses that one can discover.
And speaking of discovering, I got a lesson in fondue with one of Michael's staffers, Raven. When you say fondue to me, I think 1970s, shag carpet.
Oh yeah,
and,
conversation pit,
yeah, right?
smoking a cigarette, bell bottoms. It is resurging.
And after a few short steps that included getting a cup of wine to a rolling boil, then adding this combo of French raclette, Swiss Appenzeller, Swiss Gruyere, and Italian Fontina.
All that coated with a touch of cornstarch and garlic powder, salt and pepper, and that's it.
Handful?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
Yep, get it all in there.
And just keep it coming.
Keep going, yeah.
A few stirs, and it's time to serve this popular item at the shop. Fondue, anyone? Hello.
Hope you guys are hungry. You're so welcome.
Every day, I mean, we're open 7 days a week. It never gets old.
What a great spot for a date night. Thanks, Joe. And while you're exploring Love Lane, you can pick up a Valentine's Day bouquet at Mattituck Florist, some handmade accessories or gifts at North Fork Fiber Arts, and then farm-to-table food here at Lombardi's Love Lane Market. And if it's something sweet you're craving, North Fork Donut Company has your fill of Valentine's treats.
The North Fork always held a special place in our heart. It's where kind of our story began.
James Lyons and Kelly Braguccia met, got married, and started a family on the North Fork of Long Island's East End. And when it came time to build a business together, they say their recipe was simple, a whole lot of love.
Kelly was a lifelong baker. I have a background in the restaurant industry. We decided to come up with the North Fork Donut Company because of the North Fork and our passion, our love for this area.
Perfectly placed on Love Lane in Mattituck, No Faux Dough Co. sells homemade high-end donuts.
Our donuts tend to be bigger than most donuts. They're probably around like 5.5, 6 inches. They're big donuts. We had no plans to have a staff. We were like, we're just gonna be a small store that makes donuts on the North Fork.
One tiny shop has now turned into 3 across Long Island, but the original No Faux Dough Co. will always be special.
One of the most important things, the community, and one of my 13-year-old now, but when we first opened, she would fall asleep on like the flour bags in the back, and we kind of all grew up together in here. Caramel coffee cake, Samoa, cinnamon and sugar, Boston cream, and cookies and cream.
We have like a flavor forecast every month. Kelly creates that every month. We were trying to come up with flavors that we thought would be kind of fun and interesting. We thought of the best way to do that is what did we love to eat when we were kids? If you remember like those Drake's cakes, coffee cakes. The coffee cake was one of our first ideas, easily our bestseller.
Is there a technique?
There absolutely is a technique.
Oh,
it's
okay.
not hard to teach.
Put it in.
Yep.
Go like that.
Yep.
And then it's all about
let it drip?
the drip, the drip.
The drip, you don't want it to get all
Nope.
messy over the sides.
Nope.
Holy, you're a pro.
Okay, now we're gonna go in.
Just give it
and
a
it's
quick
like a
little roll of the
like
wrist.
a roll.
Yes. Now lift. Holy cow.
What?
You're a pro. You did
I mean,
it.
wait, I think that's pretty good.
Are you looking for a job?
No. I feel like it's the perfect place to get something sweet for your sweetie, something cute, you want something decadent.
So if you're looking for something sweet this Valentine's Day, or really any day of the week, Nofo Doco hits the spot.
Nofo Doco is a dream come true.
And if that wasn't sweet enough, Tulio's New York Wine Bar here on Love Lane has something unique. They have whites and reds, but they also have non-alcoholic wine.
So if you're ready to spend Valentine's weekend here, Cedar House on Sound is a nearby B&B filled with rustic charm and romance. It would be hard to find a more perfect couple to open a B&B on the East End than David and Donna Parrott.
My background with hospitality started when I was 16 in a pizzeria. And then I discovered that I would like to go to college to complete my degree. Attended Florida International University.
And while Donna was there, she worked for the historic and landmark Fontainebleau Hotel in Miami.
Throughout my career, it was basically hotels, freestanding restaurants.
And over time, Donna discovered a passion for wine, something David also has a background in. Eventually, their passions led to what David and Donna say would be their dream career.
David and I had an opportunity to come back to New York and open up a bed and breakfast together.
And what started in 2008 with this dilapidated barn is now what you see today, a bed and breakfast with a rustic but contemporary feel. I'm also standing here, we're playing some pool, and I'm looking at the vineyard.
The flow is great. We actually planted the vineyard in 2011. That was the whole idea, was to kind of give that house that open Tuscan feel. Yeah, but by far, this is the crowd pleaser.
Full service bar.
Yes, and it's full service just for guests to use. People always ask, like, when's the bar open? I'm like, when you walk behind it. It closes when you leave,
Exactly. But perhaps the second most important room at the B&B is the kitchen, where you can feast on breakfast options prepared by David himself.
I am the chef.
And it looks pretty good.
Thank you.
That's breakfast right there. Look at that.
People always ask, why a B&B versus an Airbnb? The biggest one would be the second B. It's called breakfast. It's a big deal.
And just one more reason for a B&B experience you won't forget.
It's been such a great experience meeting new people and having them sleep in your home. We always say it's a big slumber party, it's a sleepover.
They truly are the perfect couple to run that place.
Absolutely.
Still ahead.
It's been a lifelong dream to open a bookstore. Who doesn't want to live the fairy tale?
The East End bookstore that's offering up more than just novels.
Welcome back. Our last stop takes us to a local bookshop on the East End, nestled in between the North and South Forks, that's selling more than just novels.
Yeah, we head to a book place in Riverhead where you'll find something for the whole family.
They're all historical fiction. Who doesn't want to live the fairy tale? I get to do it every day with my friends and family. My name is Jocelyn Kalita, and I'm the owner of a book place in Riverhead. A book place is an independent bookstore that brings the love of books to anybody that wants to visit and learn. We're located right here in Riverhead, near the aquarium and in front of Jerry and the Mermaid restaurant. I grew up in East Merches. I went to Center Merches High School. Happy reading. It's been a lifelong dream to open a bookstore. The store opened in July 1st, 2022. The fact that it's here and that I've been living it for 2.5 years, pinch me. My mom is here all the time. I've worked with her pretty much my whole life.
And then we're back over to the bees.
We have local authors, we have bestsellers. I know almost all the books on my shelf, and I can easily grab you a book that you will be wowed by. It's part of my nature.
If you recommend, then I loved it.
We do tons of book signings. I'm constantly trying to show off who's in here and give a spotlight to who's in the store. It's a fun way to involve the community, but also just see what everybody's interested in. We also have local artists and crafters that we sell in the store. We've done sea glass classes, crochet classes. We've done candle making, which we tie in aromatherapy with it and a little bit of meditation. We also do this wonderful sound healing class. I love that my programmers want to share their craft. Not only are they talented in making things, but they are talented in teaching their craft. It's so nice to be able to have people stop in, because when they're heading out east, you're going on the ferry, you're headed out to the beach. Who doesn't need a book? There's nothing like turning a page. It's like nostalgia.
Happy reading. Thank you.
I love places where you can go. It's a niche thing, but it's fun for the whole family.
That's right, and one of those places you just stumble into, you know? All right, time now to check your answers in our East End Trivia game. If you've been playing along, scan the QR code at the bottom of your screen. It'll take you to our website where you can submit your answers for the chance to win some East End swag.
You'll also find more information on our website about all the places we've explored in this episode.
And while you're there, let us know about your favorite places to visit on the East End, from the lavish to the local.
Because it just may be our next adventure. See you next time.